everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Patty and welcome to my handmade lifestyle. Today we're going to attempt for a second time, this is super embarrassing, we're going to attempt for a second time to make a cake mix that I've got right over here. The first time I made it, it was like this horrifying fail. So we're going to try it again today and see if I can do a better job. And if not, I give up on it. So let's take a look at what I've got. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Patty and I go by Patty Magnets everywhere online, but I call my YouTube channel my handmade lifestyle. That's because I do a lot of different things, and today is going to be one of those different things. We're going to bake a cake. We're going to try to bake a cake. The last time I made this cake, it was a mess. I will link for you over here so you can see this hot mess of a cake. And today we're going to try a couple of different things and see if I can redeem myself. I hope so. All right, let's look at what I've got. Okay, so it's the Duncan Hines perfect size cake, and I was intrigued by it because it's just a small cake and it comes with its own little pan, and you know, it kind of reminded me of like the Easy Bake Oven type cake, and I had one of those when I was growing up and loved using it. But today we are not using their cake pan because it was a disaster. The cake fell apart. It was a mess, and what I noticed was that other people who have made this cake and reviewed this mix, what they wound up doing was they didn't try to even take it out of the paper baking thing, the baking pan. They just like frosted the top and ate it out of the pan. And yeah, I'm not doing that. I want it to be like it is in the picture, where it comes out of the pan and we eat it like grown-ups on a dish, you know, because that's, you know, that's what we're gonna do. I'm going to use my own 6-inch cake pan, and I have already buttered it. I floured it using cocoa. I always flour using cocoa when I'm making chocolate so that I don't get white lumps of flour all over the cake. So that's ready to go. I've already prepared it. Let me show you on these instructions. The instructions are so weird to me. So it wants you first of all to bake at 300 and for 35 minutes, and it wasn't even close to done. So I bumped up to 350 and we're going to bake it for 30 minutes and then check it. I also had trouble with this the last time I made it. You use the softened butter and it never would mix in. I had a lot of trouble with it. I wound up having the batter break. So I'm going to use coconut oil. And I know there is some resistance for people to use oil in cake, but actually that's how you make what they call a chiffon cake. So we're going to go ahead and use the liquid coconut oil and replace the butter. And I will use what I have for milk to replace the water. So okay, we're going to go ahead and just dump everything in at one time and blend for 3 minutes, and see how it says ungreased pan. I mean, what are they doing? It would not come out of the pan like that. So I am doing my own cake pan this time. So all right, let me go get the milk and we'll start putting everything in the bowl and mix it up. I can tell you that this batter already looks 100% better than the batter I made in the previous cake. So I'm already feeling better about this version. Okay, let's put it in the prepared pan and pop it into the oven. Yeah, that last version of the cake, I don't know what in the world happened, but it was like the recipe on the box calls for the softened butter, and you mix that with the egg and water, and it was a mess. It's like the batter broke, so it looked really horrendous, and it didn't bake up very well. So this looked really good today. I am much more encouraged. So it's in the oven, and we'll see what we've got in about 30 minutes, and I'll just check back in with you then. All right, let's go ahead and make up the frosting, and we're going to use the package, so fancy, and 4 tablespoons of softened butter and 1 teaspoon of water. It's at exactly 1 teaspoon, so let me try to get that right. Okay, I'm going to first soften the butter, and then we'll add the chocolate to make the frosting, and we'll see how it is. I checked on the cake at about 25 minutes, and it's really hard to see in this video, but it's pulling away from the sides, and it does spring back when I press on it, and that's an indication that the cake is done. So rather than over bake it, I went ahead and pulled it out. So it baked for 25 minutes at 350, and I'm going to let it just cool in the tin for about 10 minutes, and then we'll turn it out. Okay, now we have a beautiful little cake. It turned out really nice. It looks perfectly baked, and I'm just going to let it cool, and we'll frost it and see what we've got. I am losing light, so I'm probably going to have to finish this video in the morning. It's just the way it is sometimes. But yeah, much happier with this bake. Okay, so I'm cleaning up, and I was getting ready to just toss the little baker into the recycling, and it's in the bottom. It tells you bake, cool, and press. Well, the other one said that too, but this is different. Now it's almost like a tart pan where the bottom now comes out. So when you press it, you can press the whole cake out. So obviously I am not the only one who had problems with the darn thing sticking. So that's good. Is that Duncan Hines? Good on Duncan Hines for coming up with this other solution to get the cake out of the pan. That's smart. But I didn't notice that, so I baked it in my own pan, which is fine. I would still recommend baking in your own 6-inch pan. If you don't, I would still butter and flour this thing. But if you can avoid using this, I suggest it. Okay, it's the next day, and I have light again. I wound up just frosting the cake, and then I put it in the fridge for overnight. So we're going to go ahead and take it out of the container that I put it in. I'll show you how I did that, and then we'll cut it and see what we've got. Okay. This is how I put the cake away for the night. It's using this lock and lock bowl system, and basically I just turned it upside down. Now when they talked about doing this on the TV show, I got it from QVC, they made out like you could put a full-size cake in one of these things and use it for a cake dome. There's no way. I mean, that's a 6-inch cake and it pretty much fills it up. But I will say for the small cake, it worked really well. And I love Lock and Lock. They are the best storage containers. And it's got 4 of these. I'm just going to undo them. Take that off. And there's our little cake. Isn't it pretty? I also wound up repurposing the little bottom piece that I snapped out of the paper baker that came with the kit. It's under the cake here. So what I wound up doing was just taking the cooled cake, I put it on that little paper, and then I frosted and put it in here for the night, and it was fine. And this is the frosting as made using the instructions in the recipe. So okay, let's take a look at it. I will say this cake looks about 1,000,000% better than the other one that I made. So yeah, I would recommend doing what I did here, and I'll give you more detailed instructions in the down bar. So all right, let me switch some things up and we'll cut into this and see how it is. So you can see it's not like a ton of frosting. It's enough to get it on your cake, but it's not like oodles and gobs of it. But let's see how it is. It's already such an improvement over the last one. So let's see. I think it's pretty good. It's moist, so definitely pulling it out at 25 minutes. I think that was a very good plan. And I'm gonna say this cake is a definite yes. Okay, what a difference that is from the last time I made this cake. Huge improvement. I will put my instructions on how I made this thing in the description below. So if you want to try to make one yourself, I would follow what I did. Save yourself the headache. It's pretty good. I wouldn't say that it's time saving, even though it's a little cake. It's as much work as making a big cake, so you're not really going to save any time on it. I would say that if you make it as I did on this one, then the Duncan Hines perfect size cake is a definite yes. It's good. And if you make it, let me know. I would like to hear your experience with it. There's a lot of them online, people doing different things, but I haven't seen anybody making it using their own baking pans. So if you make it, let me know what you find out and what you think. And that's the video for today. As always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye-bye.